what's up YouTube, welcome to another video here on the channel. And like the last video, we're going to continue the series where I show you guys how to get from 0 to 200 for all the gathering skills in New World. In today's video, we're going to be covering mining, which I believe is actually the most important skill that you should try to get to 200 first, because it allows you to get Void Ore. But before we hop into it, don't forget to leave a like rating, maybe consider subscribing, and let me know in the comment section below other type of content you want me to make for New World or any other game. I've really been enjoying making videos again and streaming and doing all that sort of stuff. Alright, so let's switch over to the in-game screen and let's start talking about what we're going to be doing here today. First thing, we're going to get the heck out of Windsward because this shit's loud as hell. Alright, now that we're at a Windsward, it's a little bit quiet. I'm going to preface this like I did last video, a little bit shorter this time. Do not worry about getting from 100 to 200 until after you're 60. From 0 to 100, you should probably be getting it while you're 60, even though you should be getting it while you're 60. If you're not 100 yet, I'm going to give you 2 iron runs that I did initially to get to 100, and then I switched over to Starmetal, right? But like, don't worry about really maxing these skills until you're 60. Worry about getting 60, finishing all your main missions, getting all your ads off staff, and doing all that sort of stuff first, and then start worrying about maxing these skills, because that's when it becomes important. When you get into the late game, you'll have more time in between elite runs and all that sort of stuff. All right, so let's hit K, let's click mining, let's hop into it. Obviously, from 0 to 100, you can mine these 5 different things, right? You can start with iron, you can go to silver, hit oil, gold, and you can start hitting the alchemy stones, right, at 50. And this is where it starts to get a little bit rocky, a little bit more difficult. You can hit the Starmetal, the lodestone, platinum, and Orichalcum at the end, which is the big goal, because you want to start getting that Void Ore, right? I pretty much would say you don't need to worry about these 4 when going from 0 to 100, right? Because iron is pretty much the most bountiful of all the ores in the game, especially in the lower level zones. So I'm going to put up 2 screenshots on the screen right now for 2 of the iron ore runs that I did. If you aren't 100 yet and you've hit 60 and you need to get a little bit of extra ore to hit 100, which sometimes happens if you're focused on just the missions and you don't hit any iron ore, I'm going to post 2 screenshots of 2 runs in Everfall that you can alternate in between depending on if there's a lot of people, but because it also depends on like how far ahead your server is. Like my server, these areas at the beginning of the game, like when it launched, were super populated, but at this point they're not as populated. So if you're a new player, you shouldn't have any issues being able to hit all this iron, right? Because the node should be there and you can pretty much cycle in between these 2 screenshots, right? So now that you're at 100, this is where the game gets interesting, because you need to mine Starmetal, right? And like I prefaced in the last video, it's better to hit the next resource that you unlock for the most part, right? So when you get to level 100, you want to be hitting Starmetal, because Starmetal gives you way more XP than any of this other stuff, and it'll let you get to 175 as quickly as possible with this route. And then once you get to 175, you hit the Orichalcum to hit that 200, right? Alright, so now that I got that out of the way, here's another screenshot. There's going to be a lot of screenshots in this video, guys. I'm going to preface that right now. I'm sorry. Most of these guides are going to have screenshots showing you the loops you should run. Basically, the cycles you should do where you can infinitely loop them and get all the stuff you need, right? Obviously, for mining, you want to have... Let me pull up the map just so I can have it on my screen. For mining, you're going to want to have 300 strength. It'll make this process a lot easier because it gives you, I think, a 1 in 5 or a 1 in 4 chance to one-tap an ore. So then you can just continue on your way, and you can do the jump mining method, right? Let's see if I can find an ore, right? Because I have 300 strength, so it'll be easy for me to explain this if I can show it to you. All right, so I couldn't find any iron or anything around Windsward, but there's a couple boulders, and that should be self-explanatory enough for me to like explain the point, right? So you have a 25% chance to mine an ore with a single swing, right? So you would go up to the ore, you would start your swing, and after your first hit, you jump off the ore. You normally would just have to hit the jump button, right? And then you'd swing again for the 25% chance to one-tap it. And that allows you to reset the ability to one-tap, right? It resets the chance, the proc. Oh, there's some iron right there. Perfect. So what you would be doing on these iron runs, these Starmetal runs, these Orichalcum runs is doing this. You'd come up, one hit, jump, hit again, and they're one tap there, right? And you're saving so much time doing that. Hit, there's one tap, and then you keep on going. So I would recommend when doing this to have 300 strength because it's super duper, like super duper helpful, and you save a ton of time. All right, so now that I've explained that and got that out of the way, let's head over to the Great Cleave, and I'll put a screenshot. Like I said, you're gonna have screenshots on the screen. Now that you're level 100 and you finish your iron and you got there, and now you're going from 100 to 175, there is an insane run in the Great Cleave. You get to the outpost, the Cleave point outpost, and from there you're gonna exit out of the outpost to the left, and then just follow the Starmetal ore run all along the side of the mountain. And then once you get to the top of the mountain where the last node before you cross, there's actually a wolf in there that you can kill and gives you mining as well. Then you cross over, you hit the whole top section, obviously with 300 strength. You can try and one tap them all, loop back down around, swing through the bastion area by the bear, hit everything, and then rotate back up to the outpost. And by the time you finish that whole loop, it would have already started respawning the nodes above. I'm telling you, I went from 100 to 175 in a few hours, honestly, just hitting those nodes. And obviously with the 300 strength bonus, it makes it a lot easier, makes it a lot faster. You can hit that loop, no problem. All right, now that you're 175 and you finish your Starmetal and you've completed that loop, we're gonna go hit that Orichalcum, right? And Orichalcum, you want to get to there, and you want to get to 200 because that's when you start to get that Void Ore, you start to get that Void Vent, and the game starts to get fire. So Orichalcum, like I said in my Void Ore video, there's 3 specific runs that you can do that are the best Orichalcum runs currently in the game. And I'm going to put 3 screenshots on the screen for them. One of them is an Eben scale. It is the safest, and it is the slowest. You get 13 procs. You can hit them all without having to fight a single opponent. The second one being up in Scorched Mines. You don't have to fight anyone, but you have to have good movement because you got to be jumping on top of boxes to reset enemies. And you can actually get one-tapped if you don't know what you're doing. But it is the second best, and it gives way more ore than the Eben scale reach one, right? And then the last one is the dip right above the outpost in Shattered Mountain. In that dip, you have to fight, but it is the best spot to mine Orichalcum. All right? And that's 200, guys. Super simple, super easy. All right. Now that we've talked about all the rotations, all the loops, all the cycles you can do, how to get from 0 to 200, let's talk about pickaxes. I have an Orichalcum mining pickaxe with... These are the 2 stats you want to have, period. If you can't find the Orichalcum one, make sure you can find both of these stats on Starmetal. Mining yield, which gives you more mining resources, and then mining luck. And mining luck becomes really important once you hit Orichalcum, because mining luck is what allows you to get Void Ore, Tolvium, and Cinnabar, which lets you make Asmodium. So you want to have those 2. For the experience one, like how in logging you kind of want to have experience, is okay. Forget about the experience. I'm not even sure if there's mining experience. Even if there is, I still think you want the mining yield and the mining luck over anything, because you do use a lot of those resources, the mining resources, to make weapons, to make armor, to make all that sort of stuff. So like, you want to have a surplus of Orichalcum, Starmetal, all that sort of stuff. So that is the pickaxe you should have. Look for this in either Starmetal or Orichalcum variants. And that's it, boys. Oh, and also one last thing before I switch over to the other screen. Try to have mining luck gear. Like I said, mining luck on the pickaxe is important, but also mining, just in general, mining luck gear is very important too for those proc chances, right? The more mining luck you have, the more chances you'll get Cinnabar, the more chances you'll get Tolvium, the more chances you'll get Void Ore. Same thing goes for any of the mining stats. You get logging luck and skinning luck and all that sort of stuff gives you higher chances to get the tier 5 resources that you need to make these armor pieces and the weapons and all that sort of stuff, right? All right, guys, so that is how you get 200 mining in New World. And I think, honestly, this is probably the most important one to get 200 first, because you want to get Void Ore. Like, Void Ore and Void Bent Ingots is the biggest bottleneck for getting the armor, right? So getting this to 200, getting the mining luck, and being able to do the Orichalcum loops is really important. The reason I did logging first is because I think that logging, if you don't know those routes, is a lot more frustrating, or you don't know those, like, that the dogs and those insta spawns for the wolves and stuff like that, if you don't know those things, logging is actually super annoying, right? But I want to thank you guys for watching the video. I want to thank anyone who's made it this far, who's liked the video, who's commented on the videos, who subscribed to the channel, who come and watch me on my live stream. Thank you all so much for showing all the love and support. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will probably be harvesting. Yeah, it'll probably be harvesting. All right, guys.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me.